connect Zoom to Facebook. Oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, it's really nice because then I get to keep the recordings in the cloud, and I think the quality is better too, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Yeah, what's up, Facebook?
Let
Oh
me
yeah.
just make sure we are live. I was having issues on Monday.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, perfect. All right, what's going on, guys? Today I brought Malik with me. Just wanted to highlight his success story, even though even a few weeks ago he was having a lot of self-doubt, kind of walking through the things that were going through his mind, how he's been able to achieve all his success. And yeah, that's essentially just highlighting his journey. So Malik, I kind of already introduced you, but if you want to give them your age, your name, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Malik. I live in Diamond Bar, California. I'm 26 years old, and I started working with John in the beginning of January this year. Um, Pretty much one of my main goals when I was working with John to begin with was to just put on strength and just gain more muscle and things like that. Because before that, I had tried it the previous year, like meal prep planning and things like that, um, and really trying to do a little bit more work on a little bit more of my nutrition because I felt like I was going to the gym pretty consistently. So back in 2022, I weighed around like 180 in the beginning of the year. Um, and from there, I actually gained about 16 to 15 pounds, not just muscle, but mostly fat. And I kind of realized, maybe I need a little more direction if I want to make more gains in the gym and things like that. So that's why I decided to hit up John to kind of get a better idea of, how can um, I guess, efficiently gain muscle without gaining so much fat. And then also, I felt like I needed more direction because, you know, if there's free information everywhere, but once you get that personal coach that, can speak to you and like, you know, be upfront about your own like habits and, what you're doing wrong, what you're doing incorrectly, that makes a huge difference because there's a bunch of stuff out on the internet that tells you this is what you should be doing and things like that. But it just wasn't working for me. And I kind of just felt like I was just spinning my tires a little bit, um, trying to reach my goals. So that's one of the main reasons why I reached out to John. And so when I first started working with him, for the first 3 months, I was trying to get my bench press up. My ultimate goal was 315 by the end of this year. I was already like my bench wasn't even at 225 yet, so he kind of let me know like, hey, it might not be at the end of this year, but we could get you pretty close. So so I was able, so I think it was after like 4 or 5 months, I was able to get my bench press up to from 225 in February to 265. I think around April or March, right? Somewhere around there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I found great success with that. And some of the key elements really to kind of, hitting that goal that John was showing me was um, tracking your food. And I think that was probably like the biggest thing is tracking like what you eat and knowing how much protein you're getting and making sure that you're hitting enough calories. And when I first started doing that, I kind of sucked at it. Like I would only track my food like 5 days a week and was kind of just like guessing instead of being a little bit more proactive about being a little bit more exact about what I was eating. So just, general stuff I would just find on the chronometer. But after a while, I started getting better and tracking my food a little bit more tighter and efficiently. And I started creating a lot more food labels within in the chronometer to make sure that I was able to calculate every meal. Um, and also another thing that I was doing or I was trying to do, was meal prep, but I felt like because I'm not the best cook and like setting up like meals for like the week, I don't know. It just kind of was like a mental block in my head, so I couldn't really like do it.
Yeah,
But I kind of yeah. What were you gonna say?
I did want to like talk about that a bit because you mentioned in 2022 meal prepping, but still gaining 15, 16 pounds.
Yeah,
Um, what was that like? Like if it must have been frustrating to be doing like the right stuff and it's going the other way.
yeah, exactly. And I think it was just like the portions and like the app that I was using was like I don't know way off because I was actually like eating a lot more than I should have and probably not enough protein at all because I wasn't really even focused on the amount of protein that I was eating. And that's probably like the most important macronutrient to like focus on like when gaining muscle and like burning fat. So I definitely wasn't like focused on that, which is probably why I gained so much weight. And the portions like were off and I wasn't like consistently tracking that.
What
Uh,
was the biggest because I know a lot of like the work we did, especially in the more recent couple months, was like mindset and stuff. What was the biggest hurdle for you to really try to get over um when it came to like your mindset around meal prepping, food, working out, all of these things that were impacting you?
Yeah, so mindset really shifted once I hit 265 and I was like, okay, like this, like I have to track to like hit my goals. Like I have to be consistently tracking to understand like how much protein I'm getting and to like hit my goals. That's where I was like, okay, this is where I do need to be a little bit more proactive and I need to put more time into tracking the food that I eat. So I would say that was probably the biggest mind shift once I hit that goal and realizing like, okay, I need to track more to hit even more of my goals and things like that.
What was obviously you've had like a lot of both physical strength, like in the mirror and in the gym.
Hmm.
Say is like the biggest success for you in the last 9 months since we've kind of been working together?
The biggest success, I would say it wouldn't be the the weight loss or the muscle gain aspect. I would say the biggest success is really just being more nutritionally aware
Yeah.
of like what to eat because like John says, like you don't have to like take this program forever because I want you to learn for yourself and like be more nutritionally aware so you could do it on your own. So I think that was probably like the biggest thing. And like even like till today, like I'm still highly aware of like what I eat and what I'm putting into my body because it's definitely going to affect the way my body looks and like the strength and also like my energy levels and things like that. So I would probably say definitely being more nutritionally aware has been like the biggest success because it's going to be like the most long term.
Yeah, that's it's good to highlight that because I think a lot of people get wrapped up in what I call forevers. They feel like they need to do this forever, and it's like a very short period of time until you develop both the skills and the awareness to eventually do it on your own, which is
Hmm.
what the program is based on. So giving you the tools to succeed like way after you graduate.
Hmm.
I want to ask, what was like your biggest objection you had before like starting with me? Like, what was your number one concern or that roadblock that would have kept you from maybe not working with me?
My biggest objection was probably the length and time that it was going to take. Because I know I mentioned like the 315, like I wanted it to happen faster, but honestly, the way my lifestyle was and like not tracking, like it just wasn't going to happen. Um, Crap, I forgot what I was going to say. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, like your biggest roadblock, like what was the number one thing that was going to keep you from working with me?
Yeah, so it was like that, and then just like kind of just being, I guess, nervous about like seeing like progress, and also I was a little nervous about the work that I was about to put in because like you hear things like on the internet, like, oh, you have to take like do 10,000 steps like a day to like lose weight and all this other crap. But it's not really like that in real life. Like I feel like you like John like finds a way to, fit things within your lifestyle. And I think that's like probably like another big aspect to having a coach is, not everything is so like cookie cutter, especially because everyone's different. Everyone has different lives, different lifestyles. But the way John helps is, giving you suggestions and how to work, these new like tools into your life. For example, like chronometer, like doing more steps and things like that.
Was money like a concern for you when it came to coaching? Like, were you concerned that at some point it would be something you couldn't afford, or what was that mentality like? Because I'm essentially the first coach you ever worked with, right?
Yeah, first coach I ever worked with. Yeah, the money aspect. I was definitely nervous because I wasn't sure like if it was going to work, and like if I wasn't sure if it was going to work because how long the time period was, and like I just didn't really know like a lot about how like nutrition and like fitness worked and things like that.
Yeah.
So I was definitely a little nervous about that, but I did stop working with you because I kind of felt like I could do it on my own, but I necessarily wasn't there yet. So for that, I think it was only 1 month I didn't work with John, and that was because I had change in like rent, so I was kind of nervous about that. But also during that time, um, I was trying to do it on my own, but didn't really like understand like how to do it because I went into that that huge that all that information, all that free information that's just everywhere, and like just saying like do this, do that, and I just couldn't figure it out for myself. I just needed that direction, which is why I started working with him again. But I was willing to make that investment into myself because this is something that I really wanted, and I thought, this is definitely worth it. I could for sure like invest like more into myself to get like what I want. And not only is it like investing in myself for this period of time, but it's also like investing in myself for like my whole lifetime, especially from the things that I've learned, and my habits have changed and things like that. So it's definitely almost like it's crazy, like, how much value I've gotten from, just, reaching out to John and things like that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I like that you brought up the fact that we did stop working. I think at that 3 month mark for a short period of time. And in that month, what was it like? Obviously, you had some tools. You kind of knew some things. What was it like trying to do it on your own, especially now getting bombarded with all these Instagram and TikTok influencers telling you do this, do that, and I'm sure.
Yeah, it was just confusing. Like I was like, it makes you think like, oh, maybe I should be doing this, and then you end up changing like your workout, stop like your workout like program like every single week, or you think about other like other tools, like let's say like a keto diet or like other different types of diets. And you're like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, but you kind of start realizing like you kind of have to force yourself to do those things. Like it doesn't really feel like it's coming natural. And I kind of wanted something that felt more natural to me and worked more with my lifestyle so I could kind of grow into it rather than like fully restricting myself to like, let's say just eating like keto or, specifically doing like intermittent fasting and things like that. You could achieve your goals without doing all of those. There's only a few tools that you need to, find success within your fitness goals and things like that.
Yeah, it's almost like those things aren't made for you, and you have to fit within those parameters rather than you create the parameters and work within those.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, these are influencers. They're trying to, get more views. That's why they're spitting out the same information that other people are. And they're trying to like sell you on their services or their products and things like that. So it didn't feel as authentic and as genuine as the connection that you can have with a personal coach that, actually like cares about you. And it's not just like trying to sell shit on you pretty much.
Um, is there anything you'd want to say to maybe someone that is kind of on the fence, that is unsure about reaching out, or maybe it was in a position or is in a position much like kind of you were? any words of advice there?
Yeah, I would say if you really want to take your fitness seriously and you feel like you're stuck, like John's like the perfect way to go. Like if you still haven't hit that goal you had that you said 3 months ago, like hit up John because he can figure out what the issue was and why you weren't able to hit it. So yeah, if you're really serious and trying to get better at doing what you're doing and just need a little bit more guidance and some support, I would definitely hit up John, and it's honestly worth it. And it might sound cliche or sound weird. It's really life changing to be honest.
I appreciate those words, man. It's been awesome seeing you not just transform, like you hitting PRs both in the gym, in your weight, and really mapping out not just where you're at now, but also where you're going. It's been super rewarding being your coach. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to coach you and being coachable. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Thanks for changing my life. You're killing it.
Yeah. That was all the questions I had for you today. Any last remarks you want to say to anyone that's maybe listening that you think would be valuable for them?
Yeah. I would say, because I kind of commented a lot about my muscle gain and like PRs and things like that, but kind of want to talk a little bit about the weight loss because I feel like that's like where I really started learning a little bit more about fitness. So I would say weight loss takes time. And one of the things that you need to do to get better at it is to track your food and just stay consistent. It doesn't really feel like you're sacrificing a lot, or at least it didn't feel like I was sacrificing a lot. It was more so restricting certain things. And you're really going to see what bad habits that you have when you cut your calories like lower week by week. And there was a point where, well, and like the reason why I decided to cut instead of keep gaining muscle is because I felt like I was getting bigger than I had already been. I know it, like my highest was like 198, and I felt like that just wasn't me, especially because I was pretty fit my whole life, but once I started like working full time an office job, I started putting on a lot more weight, and I really thought like I was stuck at like 196, 198, and I was like, this is never gonna come off. And a couple weeks into it, I was able to get down to like 193, and then I was at 188 for like I think 2 weeks, and I was thinking about giving up because I'm like, bro, like I'm doing so much, I'm restricting a lot, and I'm hitting my step count, but it's just not like coming off. And I was like, dude, I kind of want to just like give this up and like kind of say F it. But John was like, no, like you're almost there, like just keep doing what you're doing and we'll definitely see those pounds come off. So, and that's another reason why a personal coach is good, because it stops you from, thinking of like other sources, like, okay, like maybe you're thinking about taking like a weight loss drug or something like that to like speed up the process. Like just don't do it. Like just focus on like your lifestyle and keep doing, what John's telling you to do, because I got down to 182 after like I never thought I could get down past 188. So I would say just, stick with the process. And John gives really good advice and is able to, fit these tools into your lifestyle and things like that. So yeah, just listen and trust the process, and, you're going to hit your goals.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, brother. I won't take any more up of your evening. If anyone has any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll go ahead and answer them. But otherwise, I'll let you go for the rest of the evening.
All right. Sounds good, John. See you guys.
Brother.